Welcome, everybody. Welcome to WikiTree Day 2023, our 15th anniversary. And we have Emma here with the USBH. This is a really, really popular project with us. So, Emma, I'm so glad that I get to host you because I want to learn a little bit more about what you're doing in the USBH. And I know you've got a lot of things to share, but welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited about talking about the U.S. Black Heritage Project today. And I'm very excited about this topic because we have a lot of people who are surprised about what the U.S. Black Heritage does and how much we actually do and how they could easily get involved. So I'm going to bring up my slides here and give me just a second.
And while Emma does that, I'm going to drop a link to the USBH main project page.
All right. Can you see the slides?
Not yet.
Okay, my screen is presenting. You don't see it?
I don't see it presenting down below.
Oh dear, I don't know what that means.
On our YouTube channel. I don't see it down in our studio.
Oh, I have to click present. That's why. Mm-hmm. Little details. Oh my goodness.
It's been a busy WikiTree day.
It has been a very busy weekend. Wow. Okay, let's try this again. All right. How about now?
There you go. That looks fabulous too. That looks great.
Okay, thank you so much. WikiTree's U.S. Black Heritage Project. And who are we? We are people from all around the world who come together, and we work on what we call U.S. Black Heritage, which is basically anyone with African ancestry who lived in America from the beginning of the country to present day. We have a lot of goals, but just broken down here are a few of the ones that are kind of our overarching goals, and that is to provide easy access to a full family tree for every American with U.S. Black heritage. We plan to document every enslaved ancestor who ever lived, and we don't want to just document them. We want to connect them to their descendants and trees. And we are building a free public centralized database African-American families can use to build their own family trees. So a starting place. And the beauty of WikiTree is no login is required to view the information that we build. So it's easy to find, easy to see, easy to access the information. And again, the beauty of WikiTree is we're a collaborative website, which means everybody works together on shared family profiles. So we have, first of all, we have this core group of volunteers in the project who come together and they bring their expertise to the table and help each other out to meet our goals. But then we also go outside the project and we collaborate with other projects. We collaborate with other WikiTreeers, asking for help, asking for them to share their expertise. And by doing that, we all come together and we bring our pieces of information and abilities and access to records in our local areas. And it's amazing what we achieve by working together. And of course, the goal is to build family trees. So we start with that person in the middle. Maybe we have a document that we work from, and we create a person profile from that one person, and then we begin to build outwards. We find out who their family is. We connect their family, and as you can imagine, this little circle here just continues to grow outwards and outwards and outwards like a great web. And because WikiTree is all connected, all the families are connected, we get little webs like this, and we piece them all together, and that web just continues to grow, and it continues to grow. And I have some exciting news at the end, Sandy, about where we're at with that, with our numbers.
Wait. I knew you were going to do this, and I cannot wait.
Excuse me. Our number of profiles. Yeah, I'm going to leave that to the end. Anybody can join the U.S. Black Heritage Project. Absolutely anybody, as long as you are a member of WikiTree and you have signed the honor code. You don't need to be an expert at genealogy. You don't need to be an expert at WikiTree. We have a path program that will take you through. So all you have to do is go to, sorry, I need to take a sip of water. Give me just a second.
And that happens, guys. We've been talking all weekend long.
Yeah. All you have to do is go to the G2G post and answer and say, I want to help, and we will get you started. And the first, as I mentioned, the first thing we'll do is we'll take you on what we call our path, and that is where we walk you through. If you're brand new to WikiTree, we'll walk you through some WikiTree basics. If you've been around WikiTree for a while, you don't need that. So we'll just walk you through some U.S. Black Heritage basics, some of the standards of the project, and if you're also interested in slavery era work, we have another section of our path where we will walk you through the process of how we document slavery on WikiTree. So if you're eager to help, but you're worried that maybe you don't know enough, don't let that stop you, because we will help you learn whatever you need to learn. And once you join the project, all you have to do is get started on what interests you the most. And I'm getting ready to go through all the teams so you can see that there is somewhere for you to start. No matter what it is that interests you, I promise you, we are doing that work in the U.S. Black Heritage Project. We do ask our members to join at least one team, and there's plenty to choose from. And as I keep telling our members, just because a team doesn't exist yet doesn't mean we can't create it. So if there's something that really interests you and we haven't gotten that started yet, I always welcome our project members to let us know so that we can talk about creating a new team. We do work extensively through conversations in Google Group, Discord, and G2G. Our members are all over the place and they're talking all the time. And we have a very active Discord server, which is absolutely amazing. People help each other in real time on their research, ask each other questions, which is the last one, ask for help. If you get stuck on something, there's always somebody who has an answer. Because again, we bring all the different expertise together into one place. If you don't have time to join a project, or you don't feel like you have time, but you really would like to help the U.S. Black Heritage Project out, there's plenty of things that you can do to help us. The first thing we ask is when you create profiles for African Americans, maybe they're enumerated on a census record as Black or mulatto, if you could add the African American sticker, and that's the actual code right there on the screen that we use, and we put that code right below the biography heading. And that sticker helps us in so many ways. It helps us keep track of our profiles. It helps us find our profiles. It helps descendants find the profiles. It helps us honor their heritage. And it also helps us run reports. So if we want to do a connection challenge and we want to connect unconnected profiles, we can use that sticker code to run a report to find those profiles for ourselves. So it's super important. If you're interested in helping with the slavery era documentation, maybe you have slavery history in your own family and you would like to make sure that gets documented on WikiTree, we have lots of ways to help you learn the Heritage Exchange system. And once you learn it, it gets super easy. And anytime you come across slavery documentation, you can do the process that we use to make sure that gets documented on WikiTree. Create more profiles. We just had an 1880 census sprint last weekend for the Western states. It was a lot of fun. And I think we had more than 50 people come join us during our sprint. It was absolutely amazing. Lots of fun. Lots of people enjoyed those Western states. And the whole point was, well, one, we want to document the entire 1880 census because it's a great census year for us. It's the first time that we see relationships in a census record. And secondly, we need to get more profiles, because the more profiles we have, the more connections we can make. There's so much more that we can do. So you can help us by, if you're doing a one-place study, for instance, and you are creating profiles, just as you come across the African American families, just make sure to get the stickers on there. We have weekend sprints about twice a month, and we try to tag the different projects who might be interested in whichever kind of sprints we're doing, but you can look out for those to come join us. And by following the Black Heritage tag, it has an underscore between the two words. You can keep track of all the things that we're doing, because we'll use that tag in G2G anytime we announce something that's coming up. So now I'm going to talk about all of our amazing teams. We have lots and lots of teams, and the teams continue to grow. We keep adding new teams. And as we get more team leaders, we would have probably twice as many teams if we had twice as many team leaders. Team leaders are absolutely amazing. And our project coordinators, I call them the grease that keeps the wheels turning. And so I want to give a shout out to all of them. And also, I didn't start out by saying that I have two wonderful co-leaders, Denise Jarrett and Elaine Martson, who help also keep the wheels turning. So our first team here is the Heritage Exchange team. And this covers all slavery era genealogy. So basically anything that's Civil War era or prior is going to be covered by the Heritage Exchange team, because during that time, people were either enslaved or they were what was called free people of color. And so we have particular ways that we're documenting them to make sure that we can track them forward in time and get them connected to their descendants. We have a kind of complicated system of space pages and categories, but every single one of those pieces does something super important for us. So we're sticking with that complicated system because it's really working for us. And so we've tried to find lots of ways to help people learn the system. We have a class every second Tuesday of every month at 4:30 Pacific that people can join us to if they want to learn the Heritage Exchange system. And we basically do a live. We walk through. We take a document and we walk through it live of how we go from just document to profiles and getting everything on WikiTree. A part of Heritage Exchange is our slavery projects, and I believe I have a list of some of those. Yes. So these are some of the things that we do in slavery projects, and these are like the larger groups of people. We have a plantation team that works specifically just on documenting plantations. That is it's tough work. You have to really know the documents. You need to know where to find them. You need to know how all the systems work. And so the people who work on plantations are just absolutely amazing. The American Colonization Society, Clotilda, Ship Manifest, Confederate Payrolls, Georgetown University, famous people who were slave owners, 1815, 1860 slave schedules. Our goal is to, on the slave schedules, is to make sure we've documented every single person on there and the Weeping Time slave sale. And these are just a few of the things we're working on. These tend to be the better known. Like when we say these words, a lot of people have heard of these things before. We have a notables team that works specifically on notables. Very, very active, wonderful team. And of course, lots of people in our project help us out, as they're working on work and they come across a notable. They know that our process of how they can get that over to the notables team. And we have a great collaboration with the Notables Project. Back in last June, we did an amazing, fun collaboration for Finding Your Roots. And we worked with the Notables Project and the Jewish Roots Project. And together we worked on connecting all the Finding Your Roots guests. That was a great time. We spent a whole month doing that. And I think we got about 60% connected.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, during that month. So it was a great collaboration. And we all had so much fun. And so we're always trying to find some ways that we can collaborate with different projects, ways that we can highlight our amazing notables. We have so many unsung heroes. And that's what our notables team gets to do, is to, shout out these amazing people and highlight them. We have a system called our Platinum Profiles, where we have a checklist system of all these things we want on these amazing people's profiles. So that when people come and they see these profiles of these amazing people, it's a way to honor them. And we actually have a separate project box with a platinum frame on it when they've achieved what we call platinum status, and they've gone through all the checklists. There's a long list of things. And so our goal is to get all of our notables to platinum status, that they've met all, an amazing profile is what we call that. We also have a topics team that covers, this is a little bit of a miscellaneous team right now, and also like historical events. Our military war is one of our topics teams. Our family builders team helps people build their family trees from scratch. And I didn't get this added on here, but we also have a DNA team that's going to be starting in 2024. And that is going to be a part of the family builders team. Give me just a second here, Sandy.
No, but that's really, really great that you're combining it as well with the family builders. That makes perfect sense to bring in that DNA option.
What we're going to be doing is doing DNA confirmation statements. So that's where the DNA team is going to be starting.
Fantastic.
A lot of people ask me about, are you doing DNA with the U.S. Black Heritage Project? And the short answer is no, not yet, because that could be massive.
Yeah.
And you really need to know what you're doing with DNA for it to be, super useful. And so we're going to be starting very simple, and we're going to be, I have some people who know how to use DNA to write DNA confirmation statements, and we'll be helping our members write their confirmation statements.
And the DNA, you need volunteers that do know the DNA system inside and out. So sometimes it's tough. Everybody has a life outside of WikiTree, believe it or not, we do. So,
yeah. So the DNA team will be starting very slowly, and we're just going to do one thing. And as the project grows, as we grow and we have the capability, we'll expand on the DNA side. We don't really have a data statistics team, but we have some data, what I call data gurus in our project, and they help us do all sorts of absolutely amazing things. They help us run reports. They help us become more efficient in how we work, streamlining some of our processes, streamlining our categories, things like that. And so I wanted to give a shout out to all the people who help with those things, because it's a very understated part of the project, but it does so much for us. And I'm grateful for the people who understand how to use WikiTree Plus, like in the most amazing ways, and really help our project to achieve more. We have an outreach team, and that is actually reaching out to the community outside WikiTree, and we tell them about WikiTree. We tell them about the U.S. Black Heritage Project. We talk to them about collaborative genealogy. We have a fourth Tuesday study group that is combined between our project and an outside group called Linked Descendants. And we talk to them about the heritage exchange process and how that they can learn that and be a part. So lots and lots of different ways that we're trying to reach out to the communities and connect with them. About a year ago, we moved to state teams. And so we're working more on a community level. And I have a list of those teams that we currently have. And again, it's not a case of we don't want to work in all 50 states. It's just a case of we can only create teams as we have new project leaders. And so these are the teams that we have so far: Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi. New Jersey is our brand new team starting up this month. North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, Virginia. And I put Tennessee last out of alphabetical order because it's not started yet, but it's coming in a couple of months. And
these
so our goal,
heavy duty teams too. I mean, if you work with the slave portals and things like that, this is a lot of work in some of these teams.
Yes. And so we originally started with the slave states because, we had so much work to do there. Mm-hmm. We needed to document the plantations, the slave schedules, yada, yada, yada. But then once we kind of got a lot of work done there, we started to branch out. Ohio was our first non-slave state, and I'm very excited about New Jersey being added on because they're kind of in the middle of all of that. And we did the 1880 sprint for the Western states last week, and so we're really starting to branch out now to the 50 states. We just made sure that we had resource pages for all 50 of our states, so that we're all set up and ready to go to really branch out to working in all of the states. Because we're represented in all 50 states. There's no reason for us to, only work in a few states. These aren't really new, but we're grouping them a little bit different, and that is our community teams. 2024, we've decided is going to be the year of community for us. And what that means is we're just really going to focus on communities. And so we do have a cemeteries team that has been very active. I think it's been almost 2 years. We have created, I want to say, close to 20,000 profiles just in our church, in our cemeteries alone. We have, I wish I had the stats in front of me because it's so incredible how much work has been done in cemeteries. But we have completed many cemeteries where we've documented every person who is laid to rest there. And the beauty of cemeteries is families were buried together. And so we can often connect so many families thanks to them being buried next to each other in the cemeteries. This coming year, we're going to really be expanding our churches. The churches team is just starting up. It's brand new, and we're really going to start expanding that because churches were the lifeblood of the community. A lot of these churches have lists of membership. They keep track of their families, lots and lots of information at the churches. And we want to tap into that. Another thing is funeral homes that would be a part of this. And one place studies is another thing that we just set up a structure in collaboration with the One Place Studies project. And it's not that we couldn't do them before, but we're being more intentional about it now. And so we want to document entire communities. Again, people who live together were related to each other. And so it's a great way to create and build connections. And we're going to keep expanding the community teams into additional teams of ways that we can document communities. Our profile improvement team is super, super active, and it's going to be one of those things that's forever. Like, we're always going to be improving profiles, trying to make them the best that they can be. We set a very high standard for our profiles because we want to give the community that we serve the best that we possibly can. And so we have what we call a profile creation cycle. And for people who like to create lots and lots of profiles but not spend a lot of time on them, we have a system set up to where they can add maintenance categories to those profiles so that others can come along and do other things, add additional things to those profiles so that they're full profiles. This isn't everything we do for profile improvement by far. This is just a few of the things we spend a lot of time on. Of course, we're constantly trying to source profiles, and we don't just want one source. We want all the possible sources we can so that we can get the full story and the most accurate information, the best connections that we possibly can. Of course, the data doctors is coming in and making sure, the formatting is good, that the fields are filled out well, and we don't have those kinds of errors. And our connectors are constantly working to connect people to what we call the global tree. That's kind of like the trunk of the tree. You got to connect your branches into the trunk of the tree so that we are what's called connected, so that you can use the connection finder feature, which is my absolute favorite feature on WikiTree. I can never get enough of going to profiles and seeing how I'm related to people with just the click of a button. And every new person I meet, I'm like, let me go see how we're related. And I go to their profile and I click the button to see how we're related. It will never, ever, ever get old for me.
No, and you will be surprised how many people you are connected to. You might think, no way, but you'd be surprised.
Usually, I'm related to most people in some way, at least if they're American. And if you do just connection, which is you're not biologically related, but you may be related through marriage, we're connected to everybody who's connected. So it's very, very cool to look at those connections and watch the pathway of how you get from you to them in that connection finder. So anyway, I can't talk enough about connection because it's a very exciting feature of WikiTree. And it's a very exciting thing for our project because it gives a chance for members to come to, let's say, recently we were looking at the 5-star profiles, which are the most viewed profiles on WikiTree, and we discovered Alfred Crail was our #1 viewed profile. We don't know why. He's the guy that invented the ice cream scoop, and I guess that's very cool. And lots of people are always Googling ice cream scoop, and his name comes up. And so we want to make sure Alfred is connected, because then anybody who comes along and is looking at his profile, they can see how they're related to him. And we want lots of people to be able to see how they're related to these amazing people and how they're related to each other. So we spend a lot of time on connection. We're also playing catch up, because when we started in 2020, we didn't have very many profiles, which means you can't do much connection if you don't have a lot of profiles. And as we've grown and continue to add profiles, we've been able to make more connections. And so we're trying to increase that connection percentage. We are over 50%, which according to Greg at the Connectors, that's a pretty good number. So we're proud of that. Is that my last slide? It's not advancing. Give me just a second.
That's a lot. I mean, this is really great. So, kind of what Emma's showing you is when you join the project, if any of these are standing out to you and, I would really like to go survey and photograph cemeteries, or maybe, there's the churches, the old church books. It seems like every church would have a booklet. Now there's all online, but you take photos. That was a big deal for anybody. It wasn't just in a town or a city. If you were out in the farms and you had a church, there's a photographer that would come through usually once every other year to take pictures. But if you have an interest in that, if you have an interest in writing biographies, if that's something you really, really excel at, you got a team for that.
Oh my goodness. And we have maintenance categories, lots and lots of maintenance categories that we put on the profile. So if there's something that interests you, all you have to do is go to that maintenance category. Lots of profiles to choose from, biographies, sourcing, data doctoring. There is something for everybody to do. And one of the things that we really want to concentrate on is what I call completing document sets. And that means, maybe you're from Loudoun County, Virginia, and you happen to know about a particular document set that's from your area, and that's an interest for you, and you want to work through making profiles for all of those people. We have some people who are intentionally doing that. We have one member who's been working through all the cohabitation records in all of Virginia. He's created thousands of profiles over the last 3 years. But because of his intentional working through this document set, we've been able to connect so many families together.
Because like you said, if they live in a community, they are usually connected, just like any community around the globe. If you live in a community, especially certain time frames, you didn't migrate too much. Your family stayed together.
And I was the host for the fan principal presentation that we had yesterday. And that's one of my favorite topics, because U.S. Black Heritage Project works, with the friends, associates, neighbors, principal, with the work that we do, because families live together, they migrated together. If you study the family as a whole and you watch their migration patterns, you can make connection. Like if they move from South Carolina to Michigan, when you're working with the Michigan family, you're able to connect them back to South Carolina. And that's back to the connection.
The Great Migration too, for out of the South. Yeah. So that is a wonderful way, if you have an interest, connect. And we're talking about not just a family of a man, a wife, and maybe 2 kids. We're talking about families that maybe migrated or stayed together. And it's a great way to dig in and try and work them and source them and make those better profiles that tell more about a life than just when they were born, married, and died.
But if you don't have time to work through a document set, that just isn't. Oh, there's Denise! Yay! Hello, Denise. I haven't been able to see who's in the chat. Yeah, the plantations. Oh my goodness, does such amazing work at helping us connect our enslaved ancestors to descendants. What I was going to say is, if you don't have time to work through an entire document set, that's okay too. And whatever you're working on, as I tell everyone, every little bit helps. Your little bit with someone else's little bit with someone else's little bit, and you put them all together, and we have a lot. And that's what's made us succeed.
Just the sticker, even if you're not a member of the project, just adding the sticker, because what that does is it adds the category as well. It's not just bling for a profile. It's also helping them out to see, hey, there's somebody out here we might be able to connect. Same community, same location, maybe same name, similar names. It's all about connection, and that helps.
And so I was going to tell you at the end where we were with our number, because our goal this year was to get to 250,000 profiles by the end of the year. When we started in 2020, we just had a handful of profiles and nobody was counting. And so we've been counting now for about 3.5 years. This year we wanted to get up to 250,000, which is just a drop in the bucket for us, but is a pretty huge number for 3 years worth of work. And we ran the numbers this week, and we are 896 profiles away from our goal, which means as of today, we've met it.
Yeah.
Because that was last Sunday. I know we've created 896 profiles.
Yeah, I would agree. That's pretty awesome.
I am excited to say we have met our goal for this year already, which means we're going to jumpstart on 2024 goal.
And start it now. And that's a good idea. And thank you, everybody, for embracing this project and coming in. I agree with David. David Randall had mentioned that your heritage exchange class is excellent. So if you have questions, because I like how you said, Emma, once you learn it, it's easy. It's a breeze and it makes sense. So go through the class just to get those little tips and walk all the way through the process, and then you'll know.
Yeah. And then anytime you come across a document, because a lot of times people will be working on their own family or some other family, and they'll come across the will that names enslaved ancestors, and they're like, oh, I don't want to leave this here. I want to make sure they get enumerated. So a lot of people will either send it to us, or if they've been through the Heritage Exchange class, they don't need to send it to us. They can take a few minutes to work our process and create profiles.
And that's a good segue, because there's a question. If I want to figure out who the people in or on the 1850, 1860 slave schedules are, which sub-project is the place to go? So I guess this could be two-part answer. This could be which project to join, and it could also be which project to get help from.
That is what our project works on. Would be part of the Heritage Exchange team that works on that. There is no quick and easy answer to the 1850, 1860 schedule, because people did not have names on there. And so we have to do the hard work. Denise mentioned the plantations. That's where it starts usually. And also because we're making sure that we have all the slave owners, they all have profiles on WikiTree. We're intentionally working through all the 1850 and all the 1860 slave schedules to make sure everybody gets enumerated. So there's no short answer to that question. It's going to take a long time to do all the correct foundational work that needs to be done to get names for all those people.
I will agree. It's awesome 15th anniversary accomplished. This is the 15th anniversary of WikiTree and the USBH. When did you start? How long?
2020.
2020 hit the goal of 250,000 African American heritage profiles
in 3 years. And that is an amazing core of project members, but also all of WikiTree has helped us out. People come to our sprints and they'll help us for a weekend. People will just be working on their own family or on some project, and they're like, oh, I've come across this thing, and they'll either let us know or they'll add the sticker. They'll help us out in some way. So this has definitely been a huge group effort of all of WikiTree, and the beauty of the collaboration while we were doing the toast, I was just thinking this beautiful space of collaboration where we all come together and do this amazing work.
And we're curious, and we want to document somebody's life. And it's the power of WikiTree. You're working with other projects and other projects within your own project as well to reach out and everybody help create powerful profiles with stickers and categories that get us the information we need.
And speaking of collaboration, we're going to be collaborating with you guys.
We are. The Appalachia project is going to be collaborating with USBH, and I just got chills. I just got goosebumps with that because that's a really, really big topic. A lot of people do not understand that Appalachia does have Black heritage as well, and I'm just thrilled to collaborate. If you think about where Appalachia is, we go from New York all the way down to Mississippi. So, of course, we're going to have all types of people in there. And I can't wait. That'll be in 2024.
I had no idea how far Appalachia extended until I was over on your project and looking at that cool map. And I was like, whoa. And I had no idea I had Appalachia family until someone came and put sticker on one of my profiles. And I was like, what?
So, see, we sticker too.
Yes, you guys sticker too, which is great. And I'm all for bling. I love stickers because it gives a visual representation of something about the person's life. And
it does.
That's one of the biggest reasons why we use that sticker is to honor that heritage.
If you just came up on a profile from WikiTree and you just see it, it might take time to look and read it. But if you have that sticker, something about a sticker, it doesn't matter which project or where they're from, or maybe it's a migration sticker, or maybe it's some type of, heritage root sticker. You look at it and you pause and you think about this person's life because that's quick little bling gives you that.
Yeah. So we're always looking for new ways to add bling to our profile. I think Sandy, they're going to put a link to our project page on the video.
It is. It's in the description, and I've put it several times in the chat as well. And we've also linked to the main page, the G2G page on how to join, and also the project page and your heritage exchange. So
awesome.
We have lots of information for you guys to go check it out. And I highly recommend, if you're watching this live, I know everybody's busy with WikiTree Day, come back tomorrow morning and take a look. Look at the page, take your time, grab your morning breakfast and look over and see which teams you might have an interest in. It could be a location team. It could be a sourcing team. It could be a maintenance category team. I still love the church team because from Appalachia, we are deep rooted in that culture. And I know there's a lot of resources there from that too for USBH. So take a look at it and join.
And if we don't have a team there's an area you're interested in and we don't have a team for that, come let us know. And I bet we could create a team for you. We're all about expanding as people have interest in doing the work in those areas.
And that's really key, isn't it? Come help. But that's where you help. If you have an interest, somebody else might too.
Absolutely. And come help is definitely, that's our mantra. Come help. Anything. We'll take anything. I'll cover.
Well, I think we did all the questions for today. So I thank you for joining Emma to explain a little bit more about your project. I'm really excited to see your growth, and congratulations to everybody in your project for hitting such a great, fantastic goal early.
Amazing project members. Thank you everyone for the hard work.
So we'll say enjoy the rest of your WikiTree Day 2023 and bye.